Noemi, we cannot hear you anymore.
Okay, now you can
there you are.
can hear me, but just a moment, because I have some trouble with Okay, now I think that you can see my screen in presentation mode, I hope.
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you so much. So the NCP formation network. I have some technical problem. Yeah. Okay, the NCP mission network is the first transitional network of missions NCPs. It was founded by the European Commission under the Horizon Europe Work Programme, and it was launched on September 2023. It will run for 4.5 years. It gathered NCPs from 19 different countries, including 4 associated countries and 15 EU member states. Among the partner of the consortium, 13 of them represent widening countries. But what is the goal that the NCP formation wants to achieve? First of all, the main goal of the network is to improve the professionalization of NCPs, of EU mission NCPs, by sharing good practices and raising the standard of NCP services across Europe. To improve the support for potential applicants interested in the missions call and work program. But secondly, we have also another big goal that is to lower the barriers for applicants in order to increase also the quality of the submitted proposal. To achieve this goal, we have developed several tools and activities to support applicants and also to facilitate their approach to the EU mission. So here you have a very quick overview of the main 3 tools developed by the network and activities. But let me go a little bit more in detail about each of them. So the first tool that I want to present to you today is the FAQ document, which is an online living document. The idea behind this tool is to provide applicants with constantly updated information and let's say also handy instruments to solve doubts about any doubt that they can have on the mission call, and also to provide general information. So the document is based, it collects the output of NCP's query to DC, but also relevant information contained in DC relevant document or information shared during DC info days and or Q&A the Q&A published on the funding and tender portal. The first version is already available on our website, and it collects the contents of the Q&A session held in the framework of the last EC Info Day, which took place in April 2024. The second tool is the collection of fact sheet. Given the pivotal role that the fact sheet, the social engagement have in the achieving of the EU mission objective, we thought to to draft some documents that can be useful to highlight, first of all, to highlight the value of social engagement in the EU mission, but also to raise awareness on the role that social engagement plays. The documents are organized in 5 different sections, where you can find some general information on missions and the related funding opportunities, and of course some specific section dedicated to the role of the social engagement in the mission, and some good practices carried out by funded projects. You can find this fact sheet on the NCP for Mission website as well. The third and last document that I want to show with you today is the experiences analysis document, which is an online living metrics collecting relevant information, in particular relevant calls related to 5 challenges that are estimated to be crucial in the EU mission, notably the local authorities involvement, the stakeholder engagement, the synergies with other EU programs, digital tools that are useful for the mission scope, and the SSH integration. So here again, the idea behind this document is to provide a supportive tool that can help applicants or any stakeholder interested in mission to identify the proper call, and also to easily identify calls related to specific challenges. The first version of this document is available on our repository page on the NCP for Mission website, and it collects calls published under the EU Mission Work Program 2024, and of course related to the identified challenges. Beside these tools, we have also designed some events, in particular networking events such as brokerage, which are designed to facilitate and stimulate the collaboration and the consortia set up between participants. 4 brokerage are expected during the whole project life cycle. The first one has already took place in May 2024. It was a 2 days event with let's say 2 different sections. A first one dedicated to a plenary session where let's say which was focused on cross-cutting issues, cross-cutting theme common to the all 5 missions, such as multi-actor approach and SSH integration. And the second part of the event was instead dedicated to virtual meetings, bilateral virtual meetings. So participants had the chance to set B2B meeting in order to discuss potential collaboration, and this lasts for 7 months after the end of the event. and it ended at the end of November this year. The next brokerage event is, of course, under preparation, so please stay updated on our website, and we will, of course, inform you with more information. Yeah, the last initiatives that I want to mention today are the workshop, like the today one. These are a series of online events aimed at providing deep information about the EU mission opportunities, but also to foster the dialogue among different stakeholders, and to provide some good practices and good example. Given this, this activity will be organized, let's say, in two parts. A more informative one, where general information about missions and specific issues will be shared, and a second part instead more focused on exchange between participants. Other workshops are planned, and they will be focused on issues and themes, let's say, cross-cutting for all the 5 missions, such as the citizen engagement and the mission local impact, and probably also a workshop on future scenarios will be held. So we will tackle also let's say the next framework program. I think it's all for my side. Here you have the link to our to the NCP for Mission website and the references to our social networks. And thank you for your attention, and I will leave the floor to Mikey.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Noemi. I'm going to share my presentation, and I hope it works. Just a moment.
Yes. Not in a presentation mode, but
it's not the presentation mode? Okay, I'm working on that. Seems there. Okay. Now it should work.
Not really. I think that
do you still see the presenters mode?
Okay, because
yes,
yeah, you have
the presenters mode.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the first option. Yeah.
Is it working now?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
I'll change. I'll change it and share my screen. Should be easier. Just a moment. Promise to start soon. Still working?
No.
The same issue, but maybe if you... Oh, now it's working.
Yeah, great.
Wonderful. I've got it. Always some other technical issues. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, thank you. Because not everybody is perfectly familiar with the missions, our colleagues from APRA asked me to give an overview of the 5 EU mission, and I promise to do so in the next 20 minutes. It's quite a short time to spread the information, but I'm doing my best. I want to start to introduce the mission approach itself to you. It's a new instrument in Horizon Europe, and it was inspired and is still inspired by the Apollo 11 mission, which means that the EU missions have very high goals, very ambitious goals, and in a dedicated time frame. The aim for all of the 5 EU missions is to find solutions for some of the most, or 5 of the most important challenges of our time, and I'll come back to that later, of course. It is a joint task. This is something I want to stress, and there we come to the difference to normal research and innovation projects in Horizon Europe, because all kind of actors have to join the missions to make them work, which means not only the European Commission and the European Union, but also the member states with the levels with the national level and also regional levels. Of course, research and innovation is a big part of the missions too, but also regions and communities need to join, as well as companies and also citizens. And I'll show you why in a bit. The missions are characterized by a clear, measurable target by 2030, and this is what I'm going to present you later on when focusing on the 5 missions. They are, of course, based on research and innovation, but they go far beyond, which shows the slide before. To reach their aims and their goals, they need to have a high social relevance to ensure implementation and transformation. And this is also a reason why so many players have to join in to make the missions work. The missions comprise an entire package of measures which go far beyond research and innovation projects. Here also the governance level is meant, and also all missions are working on citizen engagement and social backup. And this, I'm doubling myself here, is requiring a collaboration across all disciplines, across sectors, actors, and also policy areas. Of course, also policy measures are needed to make the missions work. The implementation of the EU missions, for the implementation, each mission has developed a concrete implementation plan, which can be found on the web pages I'm showing at the end of my presentation. Each mission has also a mission board, where experts are advising on the mission, on the future of the mission, and so on. Each mission has a yearly work program for research and innovation projects. For that, and of course, the mission aren't an approach working for itself, but they are networking together with the cluster work programs in Horizon Europe, with the partnerships and other missions, and of course also, when necessary, with approaches outside Horizon Europe. The ambition, I think I've made that clear in my slides before. The ambition goes far beyond. Research and innovation is an important part, but the ambition goes far beyond it. And I'll skip the 2 other points because I've mentioned them already. Yeah. Heading to the 5 EU missions, we have 5 at hand so far, which is the EU mission Adaptation to Climate Change, the EU mission Climate Neutral and Smart Cities, the EU mission Restore Our Oceans and Waters, the mission Soil Leap for Europe, and last but not least, the Cancer mission. And on the next few slides, I'm trying to bring everybody on the same page to show you the main goals, the objectives, and also some of the concrete actions each mission is taking to heading to its goals. I'm starting with the mission Adaptation to Climate Change. Here the overall goal is to support at least 150 European regions and communities to become climate resilient by 2030. All aims formulated by the 5 missions have a time frame until 2030. The three mission objectives are, on the one hand, prepare Europe for climate disruptions, which basically means to enhance the knowledge base of regions and communities, to get them to better understand their climate risks and to prepare for and also to manage their climate risks. Furthermore, one step up the pyramid shown on the right-hand side, it's another objective is to accelerate the transition to a resilient future. Here, the mission is aiming for 150 communities and regions who design concrete visions of their pathway to climate adaptation and to find innovation pathways to head there. And to accelerate the process, the top of the pyramid are basically at least 75 demonstration process. The mission intends to build resilience by upscaling solutions and by sorry. I need to have my Santa Claus greetings. I need something to drink. I'm sorry for that, but Santa Claus greetings to you all. We have decided 75 demonstration projects at the top of the pyramid. It's about upscaling and also bringing the solutions to other regions. The concrete actions taken by the mission, and please, due to the time constraints, I'm listing not every single action taken by each mission. I'm showing only a selection. Of course, each mission, also the climate mission, is funding research and innovation projects. The climate mission has also a mission implementation platform in place named MIP for Adapt, which is supporting the regions, which is doing the communication and also a lot of training of stakeholders, bringing the stakeholders together, and also collaboration, of course, is a big issue of the implementation platform. It also displays tools at hand and developed in the mission projects, and also success stories and project examples can be found on that platform. A core of this platform is also the community of practice open to regions and several actors of the mission, providing a platform to discuss, facilitating the dialogue, and also providing a space for open collaboration and special trainings and events for the members. And my last number is over 800 members for this community of practice. The climate mission is providing cascading funding directly to the regions through two funded projects, Climate and Pathways to Resilience, to support their ways to climate risk assessment and to better adaptation strategies. The climate mission has established a mission charter in 2021, inviting regions to join the mission and to go for the goals. And 311 regions have done so in 2022. Each mission, not only the climate mission, are doing annual mission forums to bring together all stakeholders and to allow collaboration and exchange of best practices. This should be all for the mission. I'll head over to the cities mission. Here, the overall goal is to deliver 100 climate neutral and smart cities by 2030, and also ensure that these cities act as innovation hubs to enable every single European city to follow the 20 years after the first goal of the mission, to follow by 2050. The main objective, the mission objectives are, on the one hand, testing innovative and cross-sectoral approaches, which include citizen engagement, stakeholder management, and also internal governance for the city. And on the other hand, to reach this very ambitious goal, to accelerate the city's path to climate neutrality. How does the city mission do this? Of course, through the research and innovation projects funded within the work program. The city's mission has a platform, an implementation platform too, which is called Net Zero City, providing quite similar offering quite similar tools, information, and events than discussed for the climate mission. And in the center of the city's mission are 112 mission cities, 100 in member states and 12 in associated states, which form the core. The mission is working very intensely with these 100 mission cities as a test bed for innovative solutions. These missions receive specific support for funding and financing. They are working or already signed their climate city contracts, which is their dedicated path to being climate neutral by 2030. And the city's mission is also providing a mission label, which is intending to give an insight on the quality of the plan formulated in the climate city contract. Again, the information, this is far from being complete. The mission does much more, but it just was too much to mention in the talk, in my 20-minute talk. So I'm heading over to the next mission, with this, which is Restore Our Ocean and Waters. Here, the mission intends to protect and restore the health of our ocean and waters through research and innovation, through citizen engagement, and also through blue investments. And this is coming again in the mission objectives. For the first objective, it's to protect and restore marine and freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity. It's to prevent and eliminate pollution of ocean, seas, and waters, and also make the blue economy carbon neutral and circular. The concrete actions are, again, the research and innovation projects. The mission on oceans and waters also has established 4 central mission lighthouses, reflecting the areas indicated in the mission objectives. There's a lighthouse on marine ecosystems and biodiversity, one on freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity, one on pollution, and one focusing on blue economy. Also, the Oceans mission has a mission charter to engage stakeholders to the mission and to get them on board. There's a mission portal also is planned as a one-stop shop for information, for collaboration, for tools. And there are 2 cross-cutting enablers, mainly a digital ocean twin established by the mission, and also intense measures for public mobilization and engagement. That leaves 2 more missions to discuss about. One of them is the soil mission, a soil deal for Europe. Here, the main goal is to establish 100 living labs and lighthouses to lead the transition towards healthy soil by 2030. Mission objectives are at the top, effective networks, an effective network of these 100 living labs and lighthouses, which are being established. It's also developing a harmonized framework for soil monitoring in Europe, and of course, also a social component here, raising the people's awareness on the vital importance of soils. Also here, the concrete actions, you see many similarities in the missions, research and innovation projects, of course, named by the goal, the 100 living labs and lighthouses, which are being established. Also, the mission on soil has a platform, and I'm not going into detail there anymore. It's quite similar, though there are different offerings on each platform. You just have to check on the web pages to find out if you are interested. The soil mission has also a mission soil dashboard, a soil manifesto, which is intended similar to the charters mentioned for the other missions. And the Soil Week, is over for now. It was in November, but next year, of course, there will be another Soil Week to get all the stakeholders together and to make the difference. That leaves one mission, the cancer mission. The goal is to improve the lives of more than 3 million people by 2030, and this shall be done through prevention to cure and also to enhance the quality of life for the ones who are suffering from cancer. All this is done jointly with the Europe's Beating Cancer Plan. The mission objectives are formulated quite simple. It's, of course, understanding cancer. It's to have a better prevention and also to detect cancer earlier. It is to improve diagnosis and also the treatment of cancer, and to enhance the quality of life for the people who are suffering from it. Besides the research and innovation project, the Cancer Mission has formulated a strategic research and innovation agenda, and also is working on the governance level. Here, the platform is named UNCAN. I hope I pronounced it right, uncan.eu. This year, a cancer patient digital center was started, and in 2025, a network of comprehensive cancer infrastructures is planned within the Cancer Mission. So that I'm totally aware that this was a rush through the missions, and therefore I don't want to go without telling you where you can get more information on the missions, because it really was a rush through the 5 missions. So one possibility to get more information is to find your NCP contact and to ask for help. Here, there's a very easy possibility to do so. If you go to our website, you can choose Find Your NCP. In the header here, and if you go to the filters and choose your country group, if you're a member state or associated state, and select the country, you will get a display of names from NCP persons who you can ask for help. You are invited to do so. Of course, there's much on the internet. You can visit the missions, and each mission has a website, and you can visit the websites for more information. Also, our website is providing information, and there Noemi showed you some of our tools. One tool which might be also interesting for the ones who are new to the missions is the e-learning nuggets. I'm going one step back, because you can find them over here. And they are a nice tool to get started with the mission. So you are invited to come by and watch the e-learning nuggets. They are really, really good. Also, you can keep in touch with us, and there I'm replicating Noemi's slide. You can get in contact with us through LinkedIn, through Facebook, and through X, and you are heavily invited to do so. So I hope I kept the 20 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to get more insights. We are learning much more about challenges, differences, and peculiarities today. And I'm really, really looking forward to the roundtable, which is starting now. And I think, Noemi, I stop sharing my screen, and I'm handing the word back to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mikey. Now, according to the agenda, I will suggest to have a 10 minutes break to grab a quick coffee, let's say, and we will see here, at 10:55. So, welcome back. Let's move now. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Now we will move to the roundtable session. That, as I said before, it will be it will be the idea of this roundtable session is to gather insights from applicants who experienced both calls, so both Mission and Horizon Europe cluster call, to discuss their different approach towards mission calls during the proposal preparation. So first of all, let me thank all the speakers that who will share with us their very useful and meaningful experiences. As you can could have seen, thanks to Mikey's presentation, even if clusters and mission have are part of the same program, the mission have very specific characteristics in terms of objective and let's say impact components with a specific focus on pilot and so on. Let's discuss together about it, and I would suggest to follow the agenda order. So let's start with Arianna Verga. Are you here, Arianna?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Great. Good morning. I was wondering, given the particularities of the EU mission, what were the main differences you found in approaching a mission call versus a cluster call? And also, do you think that your previous experiences with the Horizon Europe helped you in approaching a mission call?
Thanks, Noemi, for the questions. And let me just say thanks for being here and for the great opportunity that you are giving today to us. So let's try to answer to your questions. That is a very, let's say, strong and difficult question somehow. But based on my experience, the main difference in tackling a mission call compared to a cluster one lies in a greater complexity. The former represents, as the name suggests in the end, a real mission that requires a long-term vision in mind and the adoption of an integrated approach from the day zero, from the very beginning of the proposal phase. And the complexity becomes greater because mission call requires an immediate involvement of the stakeholders. And when talking about mission cities specifically, it means engaging cities to understand what are their needs, their challenges, to build a proposal that is made up with elements needed to achieve in the end the mission of a specific proposal. So while in a cluster calls, technological solutions can be the starting point. In the mission calls, it is not the same because we will start with the stakeholders engagement and then we will select a technological solution at a later stage based on the concrete support that they can offer to the primary stakeholders. So based on what they can offer to cities on their journey. And giving the experience on such a call, there is a specific project that I'm following in first person that is called Just Streets Project. Here we are working with 12 European cities, so 12 is an important, relevant number. This project helps us to understand how each city is unique in its needs, priorities, and conditions. So that is why I said at the beginning that having them on board since the beginning is the priority for a mission call. And it is precisely this diversity that makes mission cities call particularly complex. And this complexity is also enhanced by the presence of a very large consortium. Like, for example, in the streets, so we are 32 partners, and it's a very important number to manage. So as said, it is very important to have a clear vision in mind since the beginning, and also adopting, let's say, a transversal more than an integrated approach to address the different dimensions that in a mission cities calls are present. And this requires having some figures that can have an holistic vision of the future of cities that can be able to guide their development, reflecting their specific needs. Helping so to define tailor-made solutions to put in the proposal in order to reach the mission. I didn't said before that I'm from RINA Consulting, sorry for this, but in RINA Consulting, we don't have a direct experience in coordinating mission calls, but we are a strong partner within such a call. We are also involved in other mission calls, like the one related to mission climate. And from our experience, we are directly involved in both mission and clusters call. And our contribution is, and the approach that we put in this typology of project is more or less the same. But thanks to our skills and our knowledge in this specific program, we have elaborated over the time a specific way to address the complexity and the multidisciplinarity that characterize these calls to ensure an added value. Let's say that mission cities call is much more challenging, but is capable of achieving a very satisfying result. It is not easy to work with cities, but it is very nice to see that words take in some way life in the territory thanks to this program. So this is more or less my vision, and the ones from RINA Consulting related to these main differences between mission calls and clusters call.
Thank you so much, Arianna. And now I will ask the same question to, let's move to the climate mission, and I would like to ask the same question to Eric Minot from OEO.
Okay.
Eric, okay,
Yes.
great. Would you prefer that I repeat the question or?
No, for me it's fine. I mean, if for the people attending, it's clear also. I mean, it's following, so no problem.
Sorry, just one point. Of course, if someone wants to ask question to our speakers, you can put it on the chat.
Okay. So as it was mentioned, I will briefly give you an overview of our experience of developing a project under the mission climate. First, let me introduce the OEO. OEO is the International Office for Water. It's a French non-profit association with a level of public utility by ministerial decree. We work in France, of course, at the EU level, but more globally on integrated water resources management and on water and sanitation services, so drinking water and sanitation. We basically working with public utilities, industry, and water operators. And we have an experience in a research project from the FP7. So long track records in being partner or coordinating projects. So today we're coordinating one project under the mission climate for adaptation, and I will give you details, but also two projects under the cluster 6 on water governance, and one which is also related to climate. And this is very useful, even it's very different, it's useful to make the connections between classical research and innovation or innovation actions and mission projects. And the big difference between them, it's obviously the size. The budget of our usual project is between 3 and 5 million euros with 10 to 15 partners, while the mission project we are coordinating is 19 million euros and 43 partners. So a real challenge in the management, but it was also a real challenge for the development of the project. As I said, usually we work mainly on innovation action, not research and innovation, because it's closer to the market and to the exploitation, public exploitations. This is where we are the more comfortable. So with the missions, we felt comfortable with the expectations because it's looking for short-term impact and the stakeholder involvement, which is part of our OYO DNA. This is what we do every day. We work with the public organizations for the implementation of their strategy or plans or implementation of EU directives. So our experience in this relationship was key for the development of a proposal. In fact, we started, I mean, I think one of the points for a successful proposal is to have a small core group of people working on it. In our case, we were doing weekly meetings, and this core group was writing the concepts. And when we felt that we need additional skills, then we were looking, and we were really relying on past project or ongoing project where the partners were involved. And this group was composed of experienced organizations in Horizon project. And this is also one key element of it. And then very quickly from the beginning, so starting to put the concept on papers, we started to expand to have the demonstration sites. For us, if you remember, the climate is focusing on regions and communities with a target of, I think, 150 regions and communities to be supported. So we started working once we had the concept of what we want to do. I did not mention it's Natalie project, and the goal was related to systematic use of nature-based solutions for climate adaptations at the regional level. So we were starting to discuss to identify demonstration sites, and this was really a long process. As it was said by the previous speaker, it's important and it's a key element. So we must start building the project not around technologies or technical solutions or scientific works, but on the needs of the demonstration sites. So the choice of the demonstration sites are important, but then we should focus on the needs and define who they are and what they would need in our case for climate change adaptations. So we started to do that through our partners in the project, identifying the demonstration sites, and their involvement is very long. Usually they are public entities. I mean, they can be cities, metropolitan areas, or regional entities, or in our case, a lot of river basin management authorities also. And for them to take decisions, they need to be convinced at the technical levels, but then you need also to work at the political levels to have their commitment. And sometimes it can take several months for them to take decisions. It can go to a council board decisions. So this is also a key element. And then a difference in the project themselves. It's also we have a demonstration sites, and then we need to look not only at technical solutions. In our case, nature-based solutions are not very high-tech solutions. It's really classicals, but the value is mainly coming for our project on support on the economic side, so financial tools. And here we have 3 partners working on financial tools to support the implementation of these solutions in regions. Social engagement, because it's again a key element, the involvement of citizens of different groups in the regions. And we had the last one, which is more technical, is digital tools for the monitoring, impact assessments, and decision making. So I think these are the key points. And again, the main difference is that we start from the demonstration sites. We define a concept, and then we go from the demonstration site.
So let's say that demonstration sites are a pride of place in EU mission calls, let's say, or in any case in preparing mission proposal. Thank you very much, Eric. Now let's move to the ocean mission. We have not Angela Schulz, but Alberto Terenzi on behalf of Angela, if I'm not wrong. Alberto, are you here?
Yes. Hi, I'm here.
Thank you. Everyone. Good morning. And the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And thanks for inviting Submariner and to the colleagues that spoke about the other missions before. It's very interesting to see all of the synergies and similarities. My name is Alberto Terenzi, and I work for the Submariner Network, which is a network committed to promoting sustainable blue growth, especially in the Baltic Sea, but actually across different sea basins. So from this presentation, it is clear I represent Mission Ocean. In this sense, we are involved in 8 Mission Ocean funded projects at Submariner, and specifically we lead the so-called lighthouse. So Mission Ocean is divided in different regional areas which correspond to different sea basins: Mediterranean, Atlantic, and Arctic, and we lead the support action for Mission Ocean in the Baltic and North Sea, so BANOS area. And indeed, in terms of the differences between mission calls compared to other actions, I think further to what the colleagues mentioned, which holds true also for our case, the interesting part is that in these calls, we know that further to the objective that the specific call for application that one responds to, one as a whole ecosystem. You know, there are the Mission Ocean objectives, there are the different phases. So the Mission Ocean, I think, similarly to other missions, has a kind of pilot phase until 2025, and then there is the scale-up phase from 2026 to 2030. And so basically, you know that when you kind of build a partnership, when you conceptualize the project, you have to take into account all of those objectives. I think also there is much more of a political element to them, because the Mission Ocean Secretariat, for example, specifically DG Research and DG Mare, also kind of takes an active role once the projects have been funded in supporting them in reaching these objectives. And there is also a very direct exchange with the Mission Ocean implementation platform. And it was interesting to see that other missions also have their platform. So I will definitely go and look them up. And there's very concrete actions. So, for example, the Mission Ocean Charter, where we are trying to recruit really signatories on behalf of Mission Ocean. So I think for us, given all of this, it was really important, especially talking about Blue Mission BANOS, which is the coordination and support action, as I said, for North and Baltic Sea on behalf of Mission Ocean, where we are supposed to kind of animate the stakeholder ecosystem around making the blue economy carbon neutral. really, it was really important to kind of look back at all of the stakeholders that Submariner and the consortium at large had interacted with, were part of, because basically what we're trying to do is really to bring them together, and to also bring them together not only with their actions, but with their projects, and also bringing together national and regional authorities, because what we also need to do is that we need to really bring the mission into the territories. So I think this is a very important aspect that we're supposed to actually then give ownership of the mission to these people. And so what we've been doing are so-called mission arenas, which are interactive events that focus on smaller regions within the macro area of the Baltic and North Sea, and really trying to give the floor to these stakeholders, really trying to put them in the steering position, and making sure that also the national level, the regional level, but also innovative business models for continuing the activities of the mission emerge, and that there is this kind of scale-up effect that Mission Ocean wants to see. And I think that also another element which is different with regard to other Horizon calls, we are also active on Cluster 6 and other Horizon clusters, so we have experience with that, is that also kind of sister project ecosystem that you are collaborating with is much bigger. I mean, usually in other calls, I know that you might have 2, 3 sister projects that have been funded, but here really also Mission Ocean Secretariat has put a lot of value in terms of creative a collaborative of all of the projects funded by Mission Ocean, where we discuss not only between the different coordination and support action CSAs for the different basins, so the Mediterranean one, the Arctic and Atlantic one, and the Danube one. So Mission Ocean and Waters is also about inland waters, which is something that we shouldn't forget, but also all of the other projects, including some that we are involved in. For example, we are part of the Blue Parks community, where also there are these demonstration sites, as it was mentioned before, for Mission Climate. And that's really something which is much bigger, and which kind of puts you right in the middle of the action. And I will conclude just to say that in terms of the multi-actor approach, that's important. We are part of one project which is called Tidal Arts, which is about involving artists to raise awareness of citizens about the problems and the solutions for the water, seas, and oceans. And there we also had to go quite out of our comfort zone in terms of really finding organizations that are directly involved with citizens, and that can put together the scientific, artistic, and general citizenship aspect. And that was really a nice endeavor. So this project has just started, and we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yeah, the stakeholder dimension and let's say the social dimension is very important, and thank you to to pinpoint this. Now let's move to the soil mission. With Kyriakos Panagoulos. Sorry for the pronunciation, from CERT. Please, Kyriakos.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
This is Susanna Lorenzo. I'm a colleague of Kyriakos Panopoulos. He wasn't able to join because he's in between traveling and moving from one point to the other, so he could not find the correct spot to join the event. I'm coming from the Center for Research and Technology, Hellas. It's a research center in Greece, in North Greece, in Central Macedonia. And it's one of the biggest research centers in Greece, and has 5 institutes. Our institute is called the Chemical Process and Energy Resources Institute. And we are involved in multiple and different sectors of research that have to do with climate change, energy, circular economy, and environment, and especially agriculture. One of our parts of research is focused in sustainable agriculture and how we can valorize materials that are available but are not used into bringing circularity in agriculture. And this is related to the actual mission, the soil mission, and our work there. What I wanted to say is that I agree with the speakers that talked before, and I would like to point out that one very challenging aspect is to get all the multiple and diverse stakeholders involved into initially the proposal and in practice if the project gets funded. During the proposal phase, we need to convince all different stakeholders that are not really accustomed and acquainted with the aspect of research in taking part, in participating in a project, a research project. And there are stakeholders that cannot participate. For example, in the case of mission soil, there are farmers that are main part of the call. And for this reason, you get the creation of living labs, where you invite this sector of the economy to join and take part into such a project and to such a task. They do not get compensated. So during the proposal, you have to find some means of including this participation of stakeholders that cannot take official role in the project as a partner, but to manage to compensate them, because they will we will need them in the end to take part in the actual tasks of the project. This is always a challenge, and of course there are some means where some calls where you are allowed to fund third parties, but in other calls you have to find some other way for rewarding those partners that cannot at the end join the actual project officially. And one other aspect was the regional authorities and municipalities, and how they can be included and be dedicated to as partners in a project. There are regions in Europe that are more active in this, and you get more easy access to the authorities, and they are easily activated. And other regions that are not, again, very acquainted to these to participation of a research project, and there it is more challenging to achieve a good communication and a response to the tasks that are needed to be done.
Thank you so much. So yeah, also another important aspect is to identifying strategies and let's say tool to approach stakeholder, and also to let's say to collaborate with local authorities, which are also important actors that have to be involved in EU mission. Thank you, Susanna. And now let's move on with the last mission, but not for importance. With mission cancer. Sorry, and yeah, Klaus with Klaus Pantel from UK.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about our cancer mission projects. I think my name is Klaus Pantel. I'm the director of the Institute of Tumor Biology at the University Medical Center here in Hamburg. And we have more than 15,000 employees and are also a comprehensive cancer center. We have actually several activities, and I'm currently the coordinator of the EU Horizon project PANC8, which is aiming at detecting pancreatic cancer by a blood test at very early stages. And why is that important? Because pancreatic cancer is one of the most deadly cancer types in the world, not only in the EU. People live less than 1 year after diagnosis, and one of the reasons is because it's usually detected too late. And we have here experts that can develop new biomarkers in the blood and hopefully can really contribute to this very important task. It was super important, I think, to include also experts on social science. We have an expert who looks at the socioeconomic aspects of doing cancer screening. You can imagine if you want to screen whole Europe for a cancer type, that implies substantial costs, and you also have discussed, is it really sensible to screen everybody, or should you just screen people that are at risk to develop this cancer? And what are the social economic impacts of doing one or the other? And we also have included a very active group, patient advocacy group. And I think this is also super good because this is Pancreatic Cancer Europe. They are very, very engaged in our meetings. They really contribute very nicely. And we also have a stakeholder meeting in Brussels, actually in January, that they have organized together with us. So I think in my view, it's super important besides the science to also include these other stakeholders. Excuse me. And the other project that I'm coordinating is an EU IHI project. It's a public-private partnership with 50% contribution of the EU, 50% from the companies, from FPIA or MedTech. And this is aiming at detecting cancer relapse earlier with the critical question, am I cured or do they have residual tumor cells in my body? And here we are also using blood testing to answer that question. And that is a very, very nice interaction. I think a very nice public-private partnership. And I'm doing this also the second time now. I had one before. And I think I'm very happy because here we also have the very different stakeholders, academic research, industry research and development, implementation, which plays a very big role, even regulatory issues. We just had a workshop on regulatory issues, and I think this is also super important. And we have also, of course, always with all these EU projects, the challenge how to go on after 5 years, right? We have developed a very nice consortium, the network, the research is running, the implementation is going on, and then the funding stops. So what we have done 4 years ago, when we had such a project, Cancer ID, funded for 5 years, we continued it by saying that each of the participants provide an annual contribution, which is not coming from the EU anymore, but from the different institutions. And this has been actually become a super success, and it's now called the European Liquid Biopsy Society. And we have increased from 40 to more than 90 partners, institutions now, mostly from Europe, but also from Asia, some institutions, and from Canada. So I think this is also maybe a good model, I mean, for other networks. If you want to go on at an international EU level, you may really take the whole thing in your hands and ask the partners to give you some contribution to do at least the admin work that is very important for the network. So that was also highlighted by a fact sheet of the EU. And last not least, I should also say that the ERC grants also helped me a lot, and there are also ERC POC grants that go into implementation. So I think implementation is super important, and you need the different stakeholders besides the research. However, I should also say we have to be careful that we don't do too much admin work and too much bureaucracy. In particularly, the data protection law really stops us now for 12 to 18 months to do any pipetting work before we can really have finished all the paperwork. And so a substantial time of EU projects are now probably designated to paperwork. And that is really also very demotivating for my young colleagues. We want to work in the lab, we want to share data, we want to share samples, and we don't want to wait always until the legal considerations are finished. So this is my last point. And thank you very much to give me the chance to talk today.
Thank you. Thank you also to have mentioned also other two aspects, two main other aspects, such as the SSH integrations on the collaboration with social sciences and humanities to broaden the impact of the project, and also the synergies with other initiatives. Let's move on to my last question. Since all of you have mentioned the stakeholder engagement and the importance of these aspects, I would like to ask you, how did you handle these aspects in your proposal, and did you have to handle the consortium setup differently? Very few words. And if in these regards you have some suggestion to for future coordinators who wants to apply to a mission call. I will suggest to restart from the beginning, so with the Arianna, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So as said, as all of us said, the stakeholder engagement is a very crucial element in missions call, and it is important to address it since the beginning of the proposal. As said before, in mission cities call, the involvement of its primary stakeholders relies in citizen engagement. And this is something that as RINA Consulting, we know very well. We have a research and innovation team where I'm working that deals with this every day. We have a direct contact with all the partners involved in the project. And for example, we have just submitted 2 proposals under mission climate calls, and experience gained in involving different stakeholders is, let's say, fresh. Well, the most recent example where we have participated in the proposal that passed and actually become a funded project are mainly 2 projects, Mediran under the mission climate call, and as said before, Just Streets. I will focus on Just Streets because it starts about a year ago, and many more useful insights can be expressed. So here we have 12 cities on board. We have a consortium of 32 partners, and some of them were involved in the last stages of the proposal. And this has generated the need to make changes in the project during its course, because the real needs had not been fully understood during the proposal phase. And this approach proved to be less efficient and highlighted the importance of early stakeholders' involvement. So since the beginning and not in rush. Let's say that if I want to do a suggestion for a future coordinator interested in participating in such call, the main advice I could give is to dedicate more time and resources to the selection of the stakeholders and related experts to get on board. Make sure to involve them since the beginning, despite the difficulties that this entails, which means having a good network and a lot of personal knowledge. Cities are complex systems as well as complex to manage, and it is essential to collaborate with them because they are the one that knows the dynamics that we intend to manage. It's just to conclude, it's a very important lesson that I've learned is that only by giving the decision-making power to stakeholders directly involved in the project, it is possible to achieve the change. So transform theory into practice and creating democratic cities.
Thank you so much. Yeah, since the time is running out, I would ask to Eric Minot to take the floor and yeah, in 2 minutes.
No, I will be short.
Very
I will
short.
be short.
Thank you.
So I mean, stakeholder engagement, it's key, as we mentioned before. It's a process that it's taking time. So you need to be sure that the partners that you bring can represent or have contacts with different stakeholders. They can be citizens, they can be farmers, but it has to be clear. And to convince them, you need also to show them the benefits, what they can gain. They are not used to take part in research projects, so what they can gain from it, from this project. It can be visibility, it can be sharing of experience, access to top research also. And the process is taking time, so start from the beginning. And in our case, we provided also specific administrative support. They are not used to register on Sigma, having a big number. All these things are difficult for them, so you need to provide support.
Thank you so much. Start in time is the main sentence that we have to take in mind. And now, Alberto, please.
Yes, I will be equally brief. I agree and concur with all that the colleagues have said. The bottom-up approach, the early involvement is really important. I will just add one point which in Mission Ocean is important, which is about citizen science. So there's a lot of work on ocean literacy, and really citizen science is about putting citizen and scientists at the same level when doing the research. So there's not this approach of doing kind of something scientific and then testing it with citizens, but really going hand in hand and having citizens also as the primary kind of qualitative data providers for the science to be then applicable to their problems regionally. And I agree that one really has to go into the regions and find the partners that are local and bring them into the proposal to represent their situations, but also to showcase good practices, because whatever is happening on the ground. So I think that missions give a great opportunity to bring those experiences forward and give them broader meaning and more means to then scale up. So I will keep it at that.
Thank you so much. Susanna, if you are, if you want, are you okay? Great. Yeah.
Well, it's early start. Key partners that have network and can communicate easily in the region with the society, the community, the authorities. And I would say also the involvement of social scientists that can bring this aspect into the consortium and can better direct how to get the best out of a collaboration with all the stakeholders.
Thank you so much. And last but not the least, Klaus, please.
Yeah, I think it's very important to give the stakeholders also from the social science an active role in your project. I think if you write a grant, don't just write one sentence, we will involve X, Y, Z, sometime, somewhere. Make it specific, give them an active role and make it clear to the reviewers what they are really doing and contributing. I think this seems to be, besides everything else has been said, very important.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, now let's go to the conclusion of this first webinar. I would like to thank you once again, all the speakers and all the participants. Before going, I would like to kindly ask you to answer some very few questions on the event in order to to gather your insight on it. You should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
Yeah, please, you can scan the QR code, and yeah, there will be just very few questions on the event and your your satisfaction about it. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, it's 11:42, so we are out of 2 minutes. Thank you, everybody, and yeah, let's stay update on through our social channels. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend.